Hello. In this webinar, I'm going to be discussing the I-5 form of the IEP, or the Special Factors page. As we've mentioned in all of our webinars so far, the information that we're providing is for the purpose of general information for your teams. But we also understand that we have unique situations, and so we expect teams to react and respond as a team using their LEA and other resources to best meet the needs of students. So let's get started. I'm just going to change our layout here a little. Alright, so the I-5 form, or the Special Factors page of the IEP. This is a form that's going to be completed anytime that the team answers yes to that question at the bottom of the I-4 form, or anytime we have a student who has a visual impairment. One of the things worth noting, and this is actually on the form, but I decided to highlight it just to make sure that we include it, is that for any needs that we identify below, there has to be a statement of the services that are going to meet the need, including frequency and amount, location, and duration on the program summary page. So please make sure that anything that we identify here, we also have a service on our services page for it as well. So the first question has to do about behavior and whether the student's behavior impedes the learning of others. If we answer yes to the question, one of the things that we need to do is we need to list the positive behavioral interventions and supports that we would be using as an IEP team to meet those needs. A common mistake in this section is that we list out student behaviors, the bad behaviors or the inappropriate behaviors. We really want to focus on writing what are the strategies, what are the positive behavioral supports and strategies that we are going to use to address that behavior. Now, if there are multiple behaviors and you wanted to list the behavior and then the supports underneath it, I think that's probably acceptable, but just the behaviors alone are not acceptable. The accommodations, modifications, and interventions that we do select should be based on the results of a functional behavioral assessment and a current behavior intervention plan. So they shouldn't just be random things we're doing. They should be built off of a functional behavioral assessment. And there are a variety of possible behavioral and interventions. Some might be social skill instruction, modifying or adjusting classroom seating, providing increased opportunities for the student to make choices, foreshadowing change. I mean, these are just a few of many, many possibilities, but again, they are positive behavioral supports and strategies. An IEP that only includes negative consequences, such as suspension or detention, does not meet the expectation or the standard. The second question is talking about students who are English language learners. So if we answer yes to the EL question, formerly ELL, but it's been changed to EL, the team must consider the language needs of the child related to the IEP. Visual impairment. If we answer yes to this question, we would, well, let me just read. Unless the team determines that the use of Braille is inappropriate for a student with a visual impairment, the IEP team must provide instruction in Braille or the use of Braille. If the ER3, or the documentation of determining Braille need for a child with a visual impairment, which is a required form for students with a visual impairment, indicates that the student does not have a need for instruction in Braille or the use of Braille, make sure that we attach that form to the IEP. All right, next question. Does the student have communication needs that impede his or her learning? If we answer yes to this question, well, remember that we are considering a variety of different communication modalities. So we might be talking about oral communication. We might be talking about written communication. We should have documentation within the impact statement on the I-4 with regard to how it impedes their learning. And it's important as well to not simply write or refer to the I-4, I-6, and I-9 pages. Sometimes we see that in this section, just refer to I-4, I-6, and I-9. This question is a little bit different in that it's asking about those needs, and it wants us to specifically include what the communication needs are. And I don't know that any of those pages really communicate that very clearly. Now, it is certainly appropriate to refer to other sections of an IEP if when the reader goes to that section, the question is answered for them, but in this case, the question is not really truly answered very well. Does the student have or need assistive technology services or devices. There's a couple of things here. First, and I'm going to skip just one below here. Prior to recommending specific assistive technology devices to parents, please work with your LEA and Kari or myself and have conversations with us, because we have a variety of options available to us, but when we go into meetings and we're recommending things without having those conversations, it can be kind of challenging, because we have to talk about what we can sustain, we have to talk about what we're legally required to provide versus things that would just be nice to provide. So those are conversations that we want to have and come to some consensus on. Now, in your IEP writing, it's not necessary to specifically write the name of the document, or I'm sorry, the name of the device, but we want to provide enough specific information so that the reader can understand, the type of device that's being used, or what is the functionality that it provides. Make sure that we identify the purpose of the device and how it's going to serve or meet the student's need, and indicate the services that will be provided so that the child related to the device. And then it's just a statement from the law. IEP teams must consider whether the child requires assistive technology devices and services. IDEA defines these requirements for assistive technology, and so I just have the definitions here. Assistive technology device refers to assistive technology device means any item, piece of equipment, or product system, whether acquired commercially, off the shelf, modified or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities of a child with a disability. The term does not include a medical device that is surgically implanted or the replacement of that device. Assistive technology device. Assistive technology service. Assistive technology service means any service that directly assists an individual with a disability in the selection, acquisition, or use of an assistive technology device. Assistive technology service means any service that directly assists a child with a disability in the selection, acquisition, or use of assistive technology device. The term includes evaluation, purchasing, selecting, therapies, interventions, training for both the child and the professional using it, and technical assistance. And then finally, assistive technology. Each public agency must ensure that assistive technology devices or assistive technology services, or both, as those terms are defined above, respectively, are made available to a child with a disability as required as part of the child's special education, related services, or supplementary aids and services. So this has been a quick overview, but hopefully this provides the little bit of information to help guide you on completing the I-5 form.